doesn't work, but it could be fun. I just said welcome. Yeah, it won't be natural anymore. Okay. Mm. So I just tried to do like Nakamura. And so we continue with scanning plus calculation in this video, and I just could not to solve this puzzle and yeah, share the screen. So we come back, and the more you pay attention to this, the one position, and go deeper and deeper in the position. Just a moment, check video works or not. Yeah, it works. The more nuances you know, and the deeper nuances you know, the more uh, your chess effortless, and it's pretty damn cool idea to spend with one position a few hours and then review it after a long time. Or moreover, it's more and more powerful if you analyze positions with your friends, because imagine if one mind can figure out amazing imaginative ideas, what can do two minds or three minds or many minds together. That's why creating community of obsessive learners is one of the most powerful way to grow in anything, absolutely. Okay. And what did I miss? I missed before pawn is hanging. I missed. Maybe it's cool to notice to bring this rook to a1. Yes, because look, there is the queen, there is the pawn, and we don't see this rook and hit a1 square. Even maybe this rook, yes, it will be checkmate. But now you can play with imagination as much as you can, but now let's move to calculation. So when we start to calculate, usually we want to narrow down the focus. What is the main point in this position? What is the main point? So is it king? Is it squares near the king, or maybe this rook, or maybe this queen? And usually to understand position quicker, we could ask this question. The question is the answer. What is the main point in this position? Ask it in any position, uh, thousands of times, zillions of times, and you will see the answers faster and faster. An example here, I don't think we need to play one game right now. Definitely, we have short time advantage, all these weaknesses, and queen is out of the play. But if white can consolidate, we just lose the game. Our king is also not safe. By the way, when you see your king or opponent king, you always ask the question where king belongs to, and it's not where it is. You always need to see where kings belong to in the middle game or end game, or in the openings. You now can see king on b7 is not safe, but if you see f7 also, like, oh, it's very safe because he has dark square bishop, and I want to put it on the white square, especially when it has more white trots. Yeah, like this. And actually, d7 is relatively safe because it's still white square and it has escapes to multiple directions. Yeah, but of course, if you seek in on 7h7, it is possible, especially if you play with short time. It's very, very important to see where your king belongs to, or where opponent's king belongs to, and don't allow attack it's this square in advance. Like this king probably cannot be safe, but you need to train yourself to see it on d1 square. Also, cool point when the king move somewhere, it creates weaknesses. Like if you move king to b1, it's weaken d2 square. If you move king to d1, it's weaken b2 square. So the king is defender, also defender of the key squares near the king. And if you move to one side, we immediately see drawback principle, like, oh, it's weaken b2 square. These things, like, I give you it rapidly with insane speed. It's just priceless. All of that, it can make you genius if you train yourself to see like this. Not only listen to me, but you train yourself over and over again. Okay, and when we start to calculate, we need to narrow down the focus. What is the main point? But here is a lot of weaknesses, yes, and a lot of tactical weaknesses, and we can and positional weakness king on a7, and the king is weak, so it's very hard to narrow down the focus and see what is the main point. But you still ask this question and keep in mind, and then you move to the candidate's ideas, like the most candidates moves ideas, what is the most forceful move? Yes, like you don't want to calculate everything. You want to calculate as less as possible. To calculate as less as possible, you need to again somehow narrow down your focus to calculate less. And obviously, or not really obviously, so you cannot move the rook because d4 is hanging and you need to calculate a lot. And first of all, you should make it forceful, like you attack, create threat, opponent replies, and you create threat, opponent replies, you create threat, opponent replies. So this is hanging, this hanging also. King is a little bit not safe, and which fortunately for us it's a little bit forceful puzzle, because now b8 is hanging, d4 is partly hanging, and it's mm, not that easy to find a candidate move, which is really good news, because if we have all these ideas simultaneously, it's very hard to solve the puzzle because we need to calculate everything. Here, most likely we have one or two strong candidates moves ideas which can help us solve the puzzle quicker. And which main weakness I want to attack. So look, how do I ask the questions. Look, I'm asking the questions all the time myself to focus my mind. And if I focus my mind, when I ask questions, my mind is focusing on something. If I don't ask question, my mind is not focusing. To focus your mind on some object, especially if you need to narrow down your focus, you need to ask the questions. If I ask myself question, which main weakness I want to attack, uh, my brain will see the answers. If I don't ask this question, I won't see the answers. An example for me now, because I want to attack c2 b2 squares, and it's quite easy with rook e2. Yes, uh, I want to attack c2 b2 right away. But remember, it's good if you can build battery when queen first and the rook second. Yeah, like rook on g2, queen on e2. It's a little bit more visualization. And you also remember our idea, queen can move on e4. Yeah, but there is a problem, like he can take bd4 or rook d4. And we start from the most forceful, like rook takes d4, he covers c4 square, but drawback, as we mentioned from the beginning, d1 rook is hanging. And we obviously have only move knight d5. We don't want to calculate something like king a8, queen b8, it's madness, especially from the beginning of calculation. And we have threat like queen h1 and rook c2. Is it enough? The question is. Like he takes rook takes d2, and an example, is it enough if he takes c takes d? Do we have something there like rook c2, king b1, queen d1, king e2 mate, rook b2, king e1, king on e1 is quite safe. Everything is defended. Yeah, we also can take queen h1 after that, and after rook d1, we can consider come back to, let's say, e4, but it's a little bit already complex calculation. I want to make it simpler. So one candidate idea is rook e2, knight d5. We don't want to go deeper. We want to see candidates' ideas on the surface, because if we calculate 20 moves and finally we see something we could do from the beginning, it's we spend a lot of efforts, over efforts, and we miss ideas on the surface. We don't do like this. We need to create list of candidates' ideas, and you will repeat this mistake over and over and over and over and over again. So train yourself to see more candidates' ideas. So rook b4 is forceful move, like forcing move, and 95, but I don't like it because it gives the opponent additional check, and obviously we cannot capture queen 22. We cannot play d3. Rook d3 is check, but maybe like 95 rook c4 after that, and queen c2, queen d3, or something, but shaky. And this rook is hanging. I don't want to to show I don't want to check with defending move. So rooks take b4, rook b7, rook a8 doesn't seem correct. Mm, yeah, rook e2, rook a2 also the idea here. Uh, and queen c2 mate, like we connect on the second rank our pieces. And this is interesting. Yeah, and because I'm talking too much, I'm calculating very little. So remember a pro tip here, like when you calculate, you don't name the moves, you don't verbalize it in your mind. Like you just calculate moves and you cut any thinking. Like you simply see a line of moves in your mind. So let me a little bit concentrate by myself, and after that I share my thoughts process. Otherwise, I will solve this puzzle forever. You can also calculate with me. And this is interesting. I'm thinking about crazy line, which is based on tactical weaknesses. If you don't see tactical weaknesses, you never will see this line. And the line is rook e2, rook d4, king e8, queen b8 check, king e8. The problem is when king moved to b2, b8, it created one more tactical weakness on a2, a small weaken. And when rook moved to d4, rooks are disconnected. Remember, when if you can disconnect rooks, you create tactical weakness. And this king is defended by the knight very well. And again, we bring king to the safe zone, right? Queen c7, king g8, and we threaten queen h1 and rook c2. Why a2 square is so important? Because when queen stays on a7, it protects a2. So king on a1 is safe. It's safe zone. We identified this from the beginning. But then if queen moves to b8 to c7, we simply can play rook c2, rook b2, rook a2, and queen c2 checkmate. Yeah, and when you see amazing ideas like this, you need to eliminate them as quick as possible because there is just checkmate on the fate. Yeah, which I missed. Mm, and th- this is the pattern. When you see beautiful idea, you need to train yourself to refutate it because basic pattern, when you see beautiful idea, your brain will try to make it works, and you will become blind to some spots, like obviously a fate is a weak square, so I simply can eliminate all these options. Okay, let me think for a while more. My main options like still 95 and rook 2 ideas, and but I didn't see anything clearly there. Continue. One of the cool questions which you need to train yourself to ask: what am I missing? When you focus your mind on something what you can miss, mm, you see the ideas which are not that obvious from the beginning. So what am I missing is very, very powerful question. Also, another good point, if you see your mind is jumping to the same idea, which is already well calculated, you remind yourself, don't do that. You calculate it one time, just try to spend a little more time to check everything, to eliminate the option clearly, and then mm, try to see new ideas, new candidates ideas. There are many mental mistakes while you are calculating. You need to notice them and train yourself to correct your thinking. So it's the most important skill. Like, you notice your mental mistakes. If you don't notice your mental mistakes, you just look around. You will see many people just live a life the same from the beginning till the end. They don't even notice they do any mistakes, like especially mental mistakes, and it will stay with them forever. Uh, I'm thinking now, like a little bit of detachment in when we get rid of our good ideas about move like queen e2 c main weakness on c4, and the reason why this move is difficult to see because h1 is tactical weakness, and when we play queen e2 we block our rook from e2 square, we create disbalance in our position. But the point is why c4 pawn is that important, because after we grasp this pawn we have d5 square for the knight, and the knight is the best attacker and the best defender. And practically, if I can, in real game, if I play a real game, I will grasp this pawn and put knight on d5, and then just slowly outplay my opponent, because my king is super safe in this situation. Like with the knight on, if we put knight on d5, I do not afraid of anything for my king. And that is the most important part of evaluation, like king safety. If my king is safe and opponent's king is not safe, practically I will win most of the games. If I play not against computer, if I play against human beings, queen e2, queen c4, and put knight on d5 is quite nice idea, but needs to check options like rook takes d4. Probably not dangerous because we simply can trade take on c4, b4, knight jumps in. We quickly understand this good. We cannot calculate everything. And bishop takes d4. Also, b4 is hanging in probably with the tempo, but needs to calculate bc3 in defense. Mm, yeah, queen c4, bc3, but bc3 not dangerous because of 95. So and main thing to calculate is probably queen takes b8 because it's rook, yeah, free rook, and we take c4. He has options b2, b1, b2, e2 check. So b1 is only moved, e2, queen c3 mate, and we jumps in with the knight. So we have knight, queen attacking the king and the rook. We also have queen b2, and don't have there is the pawn. Yeah. Knight just jumps in, and we have direct threat like knight c3, queen a2 already. A2 is hanging, and that will be checkmate. We have +3 when attack, and it has to be winning if he doesn't have direct win. Even he is up a rook, but we have the queen, the knight, and the rook attacking his king. He cannot come back with the queen quickly. It has to be winning just by the process of evaluation. And yeah, So if I don't have more time, I will play queen e2 and take risks here in real game. When solving puzzles, I need to eliminate queen e2 here because I need to try to eliminate it, refutate this. But because I don't want to spend zillions of times, I will just play like in real game. Boom, and this mistake. Yeah. So 3079 in Lichess puzzles is something which computer will struggle to solve. That's good. I tried it because I don't want to spend a lot of time. And let's just try to see which is real line. Like rook e2 obviously wrong, knight d5 obviously wrong, and I was thinking queen f3, queen g3 wrong, queen g3 wrong, rook takes b4, rook b7, rook a8, rook a. What was also candidate's ideas? Rook takes b4, which is incorrect, and d3, knight d5. I was thinking about d3, knight d5, but I didn't like. Uh, I could not see the clear continuation there. But maybe I was attached to the idea of c4, queen c2, and I didn't see queen h1. So d3, yeah, d3 is correct. Knight d5. Rook d1. This is unexpected for me. I was worried about c takes d, and I thought about rook c4, queen c2. I simply miss this rook hanging, even if I notice this. This is cool. Notice mental mistakes. And now with this knight on d5 is just winning. I don't need to do anything. I will win with literally everything. I thought, but computer says continue, which is where rook takes b4, queen c2, rook b4. I have this nice knight defending everything. But there needs to calculate rook take d5. He has this idea. And wait, rook takes b4, takes can be two mates, so he has to block with rook b3. But do I have anything? Not really. Rook takes. No, it doesn't. Let's. What am I missing? It has to be simple now. It has to be simple. Rook is hanging. Rook b4 is logical, but it doesn't work. Rook d5 now is a little threat. Even here it's challenging. Even here is challenging. What am I missing? Why with the knight and queen against queen and rook? I'm thinking about something like rook takes b4, takes, rook b3, queen e4, but it's shaky. Computer will find a way to survive it. Rook c2, not queen b8 is impossible. Rook b2, rook b2, and queen c2. So we finally get to the second rank. Rook d5, cd, queen e4, queen c2. Yeah, it doesn't work. Can I disconnect his rooks somehow? So what are tactical weaknesses? Uh, what are tactical weaknesses here? c5 bishop is attacked by once and protected once. Defend. Yes, c5 bishop is a little tactical weakness. b4 is obviously tactical weakness, but here's nothing. Queen, maybe. Rooks also can be tactical weaknesses because indirectly it can be attacked one time, like queen c2 check and take the rook. If yeah, it's useful to see it because it seems like it's not attacked once and it's connected to it and it's already overprotected. But we can have attack through check queen c2, and it's already counted like one attack, so it's hanging piece, which is not easy to see if you don't train yourself. And very, very important to understand what do I want to get at the end, what is my final destination, what is my result at the end. And I'm trying to see like c2 b2 a2 a1 is it doesn't work at all, so I probably I'm trying to seize this rook or this bishop or somehow even queen, but I don't believe I can attack queen. Maybe it's my problem. Yes, because if I don't believe I cannot find the way, it's very important principle. And can I? And now it's defended here. Well, if he takes rook d5, c takes d, queen a4. I mean, if I play just move rook b5, just a simple move to create threat, let's say, rook takes c5. Why is it not winning? Because obviously, by evaluation with this knight, with these rooks, and with this queen and this queen on a7, it has to be winning if she doesn't have something like rook takes d5, cd, queen e4, and pin. If he cannot survive here, rook takes c5, and it seems everything is defended. But king a1, attacking the rook, and queen c2 is winning. If not, rook takes d5 here. Rook takes d5. Oh no, oh yes. Rook takes d5 and what? I still can play king e8. King e8. Too hard. King e7. Can I play king e7? There is no bishop already. We can miss e7 square because we took the bishop and we don't see it. King e7 and no check from the queen. Rook e5 and rook blocks here. King f7. And it seems winning, yeah? Like queen c2, rook b5. What am I talking about? What am I smoking? Yeah, okay. And rook b5, rook d5, cd, queen a4. Can I win simply, like just defend the rook and oh, what am I smoking? Rook takes c5? No, rook takes c5, rook d5. What did I think? Right, rook takes c5, king a1. King a1, attacking the rook. And I thought, wait, what am I talking about? I didn't calculate for very long time, so I'm too slow now. Queen e4, rook takes c5, rook d5 is not the move, queen takes d5. King e1, but why should I play queen c2? Queen c2 was idea to trade here. But it's not the only move for sure. Not only move. It has to be something like queen f3 attacking the rook and attacking c3 square. No, there should be multiple options too. Yeah. Be afraid. Okay, this puzzle is super tricky. Like it's be afraid, and he can fight. Like what's his idea? He just remove hanging piece. Yeah. Uh, by the way, it's all about hanging piece. You see, from the beginning, we saw initial idea like bishop on c5 is actually hanging. It was defended twice, and it wasn't attacking even once. And now you see we brought two pieces to attack it, but he just removed, and it has to be very simple now. It cannot be difficult. I have two rooks, queen, and the bishop. Fate is hanging. This one potentially hanging. A7 is out of play. Mm. But what is my target? Again, b2 is hard. Like, oh no, rook c2, rook d5, rook d5. I would play rook takes d5. Again, the same idea. Yes, queen e4, queen c2. Queen c2, he played king e1, and I don't see a clear breakthrough. Practically, if you don't see clear breakthrough, it's better to not play this line. If you play just a real chess, not solving puzzles. Mhm. And f8 is tactical weakness, hard to get. Bishop move diagonal open, but I cannot leverage it. This diagonal weaker now, and this diagonal also weaker now. Uh, Before it was pawn here. If you remember, we initially thought about this diagonal too, but let's see. His main defensive resource is rook b3, and if this is prophylaxis, if you can eliminate the best defensive resource, we can just simply win the game. So this rook is defending the king. Can we find the way to eliminate this rook? I don't see it easily. Queen c2, rook c3 doesn't look nice. Not clear. It can be a lot of ideas to defend, but rook takes d5, c takes d this time, and we'll see what he can do. Yeah. Rook defending the knight. You see drawback principle. Bf8 he plays, yeah, and now rook defending the knight. There is no rook d5 idea anymore. I simply take c takes d. So yeah, if I play queen c2 king a1, and he takes rook takes d5, I can simply play c takes d, and he doesn't have rook takes d5 anymore because I simply take with the rook. Yes, and he doesn't have queen a4 resource because now it's uh, yeah, it's there's my queen. It doesn't work. So so queen c2. Wait, but what did I just say? Queen c2. King a1. Yeah, rook d5 is not there, but what's my idea? Takes b4, bishop takes b4, rook takes b4. Oh, d1 is hanging. Oh, wait. Rook takes? No. Queen c2, king a1 the same. Oh, wait. Rook c to rook takes d5, c takes d5, rook takes d5. Yeah. And if rook takes d5, queen a4, but rook c6 back this time. But rook c2 doesn't threat much rook b2 king a1. Yeah, rook c6 is interesting resource because there is a pawn, you see, but we can see it only because of the process of scanning. If you don't train yourself to see piece over the piece, like rook on c6, because there is the pawn, your brain doesn't see it. You simply cannot see it. It's impossible for your brain unless you trained well. So, but it's easy. It's easy if you just pay attention. It's not something like, oh, super grandmasters only can do this. You need to have an exceptional talent. It's not about talent. It's about your training process. Rook c2, but I don't like. I don't have threat like rook b2 king a1 and what this one I don't like. But now f8 square is not available for the queen, like drawback principle, which is crazy if it's so. Like I mean, if now because bishop on f8, I can bring king to f7 to save zone and unpin this knight and win the game. That would be too hard, even for me. But it's 3079. We will check later. Computer will struggle to solve this puzzle at least for a while. Yeah, King 8 is crazy idea. Let's check a little bit tired here. And it's insane. It's just insane. Uh, but this is how this is by watching this puzzle you can understand very very clearly. Yeah, yeah. Like if you don't use scanning process, I mean, how can you see like before we see queen on f8, yes, and then piece moving to f8, and there is no f8 square. Like if you don't use all the techniques which we described today, it's almost impossible to solve. And even I couldn't solve this puzzle, which I mean, I cannot solve everything, and I didn't train for a long, long time. I have zillions of excuses. Of course, I must solve. I must solve this kind of puzzles but you can notice every almost all the things we noticed, all details we could notice, but if I want to really solve this puzzle it will take much 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 more time. Like I need to really calculate deeply and I need to be in good shape. Okay, I hope I gave you enough excuses, but also I hope you enjoyed this crazy lesson. And let's check our thoughts process, like with the engine. It's very important we can get something from some ideas which we missed. Yeah, if engine works. Yeah, engine works. So uh, we need to second engine move, by the way. And look what is happening. Engine struggles to calculate it. You see, it doesn't. It cannot understand. It's winning. Well, like initially, it starts from minus 0.6. As I said, engine will struggle to solve this puzzle, and it's need to be go deeper to understand it's winning for black, much deeper. Yeah, you see it. It goes deeper, and it sees, oh, it is better for black, much better, almost winning, and it goes deeper. By the way, queen e2 is second engine move. You know, and they're probably only practical. It's very powerful move, but engine sees many defensive ideas like king b1 sacrifice the pawn, which is a very good defensive idea. Just sacrifice the pawn, don't defend it, and queen e6 simply defend the pawn and rook d2. So everything is equal for engine, but practical is very good move. Yeah. Later, just only later, engine sees d3 is winning. Rook takes d3, 95. All these ideas we see during scanning process. C4 is hanging, d5 is interference. Rook hd1. I did not see initially. I eliminated this idea because I saw uh, rook c4, king b1, and I thought queen c2, king a1, but I simply forget this rook is hanging. This will happen. Even if you notice it, you still will do mistakes because of not being in perfect shape or because of simply some chess blindness, it will happen. So if you want to be on your top, you need to train every day. So I paid much more attention to my business, not to chess. Uh, so that's my excuse, which is never give yourself excuses. It's on me. It's my uh, responsibility, and I made mistake. I fucked up everything, or whatever you want to say yourself harsh words instead of excuses. This will be much better. Okay, rook d1, and then rook c4 king b1. Honestly, I thought it's winning by the simple evaluation. Yes, and winning move is rook b5, which is also logical. Yeah, just because it's simply very good position. It has to be simple. And after b8, king e8, and crazy idea with we can simply into the safety. And all of that, by the way, we didn't see each move exactly, but we saw all these ideas during scanning. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's not taken. It didn't. I mean, it took a lot of time, but uh, if you are advanced chess player, I mean, it's just priceless for you. Like this lesson saved you years. If you really get even couple of points, you saved years. So most likely, most of the players never will understand it after lifetime training. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Wish you everyone to be happy, and so bye from Cambodia. Bye bye. Yes.